be more secure with myself. Hey my lovelies, so it is, let's see what time it is, 8:52, yeah, 8:52. I just picked up the camera for the very first time. So quickly I want to mention that here in my town they have something called the Antique Traders Market, or something like that. So basically it's a large farm which is not in use. They use it just for this event. It's not like being used any other time. And 3 times a year for 3 days in a row, so 9 days total, you can rent out a spot and sell your antiques. Now, it doesn't have to be antiques, but about 90% of the stuff is. Anyway, whoa, the TV just like turned on. That's weird. Okay, anyway, so my dad did it for the first time last year for all 3 events, all 9 days. He signed up for 2 of the events this year instead of 3, so for 6 days. Anyway, I helped him last year, I'm helping him this year, and today was the very first day. And then it's tomorrow and Monday, and then again 4th of July weekend and Labor Day weekend. So, I don't really have time to vlog, really, like, because the vlog is just going to be basically me at a, like, farm about a mile from my house selling antiques for my dad to help him out so that he's not working 8 hours straight. He can go on a break, and so it's over there, able to like watch over like the area and vice versa. So the cool thing is I set up my own little spot, and I am raising money for the care packages. And today we raised $116, and we still have 2 days more. So I'm really excited. But I wasn't planning on recording whatsoever this whole weekend, like today, tomorrow, or Monday, because of this fact. But I decided just to like keep the daily videos going, even though I never planned on doing daily videos. I just decided that since like they've been daily since actually chronically Jackie died, which again wasn't on purpose, just kind of happened, I might as well just try to keep with that momentum. So here I am, and we are recording, and it's going to be quite boring. It most likely will be even really short, like 5 minutes, even though we are already almost 3 minutes into this video talking about nothing. It's, like I said, 8:30. I'm just jumping in bed, meaning like getting in my room, getting comfortable. I'm going to take my night meds. My nose is getting running. My nosebleeds have stopped, like, it was the next day after my last cauterization where it was still bleeding, but I haven't had anything. If I blow my nose too hard, I like break a vessel, which is normal and is blood. But that's a cool thing. My results from my ultrasound came back, and it's unfortunate but fortunate. Fortunately, they were, whoa, why are we so dark? It was clear. I'm completely clear. I don't have thin lining or anything. Unfortunately, if it's clear, why am I bleeding, like spotting, when there's no blood in my urine, or down there when they looked, and why the pain? Now, unfortunately, once again, the pain kind of stopped. I haven't had it whatsoever today, and late last night it kind of disappeared as well. The spotting stopped and the pain. Like, I have no pain. It's like just gone. The nurse said, well, the doctor said, if you want, like, she gave you the option, and she's still going to give you the option, if you want to wait it out, then okay. And if you don't, she'll like send you over to a is it, I think it's neuro, not Euro, OBGYN, urology, I don't know. So like a different sort of OBGYN. And I stated that even though the pain was pretty much gone at the time, and I felt it was going to be fully gone like it is, I said, yes, I want to see him, because the fact is I still had this pain, I still had the bleeding, and just because it went away, there has to be a reason why it had, like, something happened. So my results, everything for the past 2 days are clear, so I will be receiving some sort of phone call, probably Monday, maybe even Tuesday, because it's a holiday, about a referral for another doctor. And I'm having my nurse come tomorrow because it is a holiday Monday. Ugh. And she's going to administer my IV since my last one I pulled out because it sucked. So I'm sorry for the lighting. I am using my cell phone because my camera is in the car and I'm not going to get it. I can't breathe. So anyway. Do you guys hear that? Okay, I hope you guys hear it and don't like hear just like random like muffling noise, but actually hear it. Okay, so I live like 0.4 miles, 0.2 miles, probably not even a point. I mean, it's probably even just a mile from a very famous racetrack in Minnesota. And it resides right here in my town. So that's cars going in circles. It's like a roller derby type of thing, but it's like a race car derby or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I think I've been there once when I first moved here when I was like 15, and I remember hating it out of boredom because they were just going in circles. Like, where are the crashing and all? Like, of course, I don't want anyone to die, but it gets boring when you just kind of watch cars go in circles. Anyway, so I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about my benefits, or the benefits I feel I get as a person who has a wheelchair and a person who is in a wheelchair. And it's probably going to be really annoying because of the sound. And yes, I have a window open, and I guess I could close that just a little bit for you guys. You guys hear it? I just saw a bat. It's so loud. Let's close the windows. Okay, so the benefits of a wheelchair for me, of course, it's always different for everybody. And yeah, so the first thing to me is I feel safe because with me, I have a wheelchair, for 2 diagnoses, and that's for POTS and mast cell. POTS, you faint. Like, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. If you want to know more about it, I will post a link all about POTS, but you faint. And then with mast cell, I have a really bad reaction with fragrances and a few other things, a few. I also faint. So with a wheelchair, I feel safe from fainting, and I have less episodes because of that. When I'm standing long periods of time, even short periods of time, or I'm walking or exacerbating or whatever it might be, it takes a toll on my body. But if I do these activities with a chair, my body has a very less chance of reacting than if I were to be standing up for a certain period of time. So basically, it's that security that I get with a wheelchair. I definitely have a better understanding. And okay, so I've never been, I mean, maybe as a child, because most kids are like this, not all. I wasn't a huge person where I would see somebody and stare at them. That was never really me, but I did, and I will be honest about it, and I'm hoping that many of you will be honest about it, because I know I'm not the only one, where you would see somebody and be curious on why they're in a wheelchair when they, at this time, I would say this, they sure don't damn look like they should be in a wheelchair, like, you know, like basically an invisible illness. Now, some people have a broken leg, and I'm like, oh, they're in it, and I could tell it's because of a broken leg or whatever, but there were many times where I would look at somebody and I go, didn't I just see you in a store in a wheelchair and your ass is walking around outside and standing up, you know? And I mean, I didn't think deep into it. I literally just like kind of did one of those like quick 30-second question it, like, I just saw her in a wheelchair. Wasn't that her? I don't get it. Like, or she wanted to, oh, I get it. She's sitting in the, she wanted to get a better parking spot or whatever it is. So I now have a better understanding about those in a wheelchair or about illness in general. Now, yes, I've been chronically ill since I was a teenager, but I wasn't in a chair. And again, I was a teenager, which to me is still a child. And so I definitely have a better understanding for those in a wheelchair, because now I'm in a wheelchair. And before I was in a wheelchair, the older it got, the more I researched, the sicker I became. I've done more research and I've learned. So this wheelchair being fairly new, before that, many years before that, I had a better understanding for those in a wheelchair. This was just years back when I was a kid, many years back, like anyway, decades actually, where I didn't really understand. And so the chair, you know, I just have a better understanding for those who could look like an everyday person with no illness, and they are actually as sick as I could be, or even sicker. They can even just have cancer, and cancer is not always visible. So. Being stronger is definitely another like benefit that I receive. I don't really have many examples because it hasn't really happened, but my very first time, maybe my first couple times that I went out, I went grocery shopping, and it was a few different things, and it kind of goes back to the whole better understanding, but also like a security reason, actually, a security in a different way. So basically, first I was nervous to be sitting down in my chair, and then realized I need to get up to go get something, and I felt awkward standing up when there's people in the same aisle and they're looking at a person in a wheelchair getting up, and I waited a lot of the time for them to walk away, or for them to be really deep at what they were looking at and not looking at me in any way, and I would get up quickly and grab what I needed and put it on my lap. Or I would just wait it out until the person or persons left the aisle so I can get what I needed. So I've now learned to be more secure with myself, because I know that, you don't have to be paralyzed to be able to do this. You can be in a wheelchair. So that's where the security comes back in. I'm more secure with myself. I now have a better understanding because, I can't stay a long periods of time. I can get up and grab something quickly. But I feel stronger because I've learned that I don't care what people think about me. And if they question it and they want to ask, I can tell them. And then there was a moment as well, I think that same day, where I had a lot of people, nicely, thankfully, they asked if I needed help. Oh, can I grab something for you? And it was normally it was the same lady, twice she asked me, I think. And I was in like the cold food section, like getting like, I don't know, yogurts or milk or something. And I kept looking at it, and it's because I didn't know what I wanted. I couldn't see. And again, I felt awkward standing up to check, oh, do I want this one with this one? What's the ingredients in this one? So I kind of just did this, and there was so many people. And she goes, can I grab something for you? And I'm like, no. So I tried to like get the courage, so like I can stand, like read what I wanted to read. And then two, no, I don't need your help because, I can scan, so I want to get it. But I guess I also know me. If I were paralyzed, I wouldn't want someone's help, because I've always had that feeling of independency, and I feel that if I were to be paralyzed, it'd be hard to ask for help, because I don't like asking for help now. So that's that. But now I get up out of my chair, and I don't care when people look at me and how they look at me, and if they have questions, I will definitely answer. So, there are probably a lot of stuff on my list, and I can't really think of a lot, but my last thing is, which is probably one of the biggest things, is independence. Basically, I feel like I don't need somebody's help. Now, if I wanted to go like food shopping, if I didn't have a chair, I would have to ask somebody to go food shopping for me, or for me to go with them and them to watch over me, which means I have to wait for them, and then I have to go. I would feel like I would have to shop faster because they're waiting for me, the whole thing. So I don't have to do that. So I get to just shop when I want, do what I want, when I want, how I want it, for however long I want to. events or I guess events, yeah, events and like I love doing marches like for like cystic fibrosis or I mean I'm just as an example, I've never actually marched for them, but I like doing stuff like that or you know the AIDS walk, things like that. I can do that now with a wheelchair. I think that even with a job now, my job I can't use it because as a makeup artist I kind of have to stand. But if I had any other job, a wheelchair is a lot easier for many jobs. I mean, I do use my chair when I used to work in stores because I would travel and be in stores, but I can't be around fragrances, and I would be around that. But with the chair, I had less of a chance of fainting, so that's really nice. And that's basically it when it comes to like independence. I'm able to live my life and do what I want and not have to depend on anybody else. Look at all my medications. This is other medications down here, random stuff, you know, like monitors and everything. This is just my bedside stuff. This is actually my as needed, so I keep it by my bedside, stuff for like headaches. I have stuff for panic attacks, but I don't think it's actually for panic attacks since I don't really think I get them. An eye allergy, nausea, which is Zofran, the best stuff. Things that I would normally need. And then these are my everyday. But then I have several more, but they're in like the refrigerator. And then you know, like I have these here are just not like nasal sprays, and then a whole bunch of like eye stuff. Like it's a lot. Like this is typically my morning and evening like medications that I put in my nose and in my eye. A whole bunch of flushes because when I wake up I have to flush my line. When I go to sleep I have to flush my line. And then I just started doing that like 2 weeks ago. I used to hate like going, oh, I gotta flush my line and I'm already like passing out and I have to get out of bed, which I'm already comfortable and warm, and then I would have to go all the way over the side, go to my medical area, which I have a whole wall with 4 different like those plastic drawers, but really nice looking ones that look like, yeah, it's some other stuff. And I would have to go through that and get back in my bed, the whole thing. So now, bada bada boom, I just do it and I can throw it in the garbage right here. And yes, I even have like as needed tissue, my monitors. If I have like my hand cramps or whatever, I have my KT tape and my numbing cream. Yeah, hand sanitizer, which I use quite often just because I always feel like I need to because like it's clean and I want to be clean. So I'm going to put the camera down. This is probably the weirdest video possible, being that, well, I started at 8:30 and I believe it's like 9 o'clock. So I made this whole video in 30 minutes. These cars are annoying me. I don't know if you guys can still hear it. If you hear noises, it's still the car racing and it's going through my windows and I have to sleep with this, which is fine. I'm a good sleeper with noise. It's fine. So tomorrow morning, my nurse will be here at like 8 o'clock, administer my IV. Then I will probably have to meet my dad since I think the event starts at 8. Maybe it's at 9. I don't know. And then I probably won't start my actual infusion until Monday, which is my normal day. But I'll just get the line tomorrow because Mondays the nurses won't be out because it's a holiday. And sorry again for this awkward video, very unexpected. I just want to kind of keep the daily vlogs up, so I'll figure out what I want to do tomorrow. I'll figure out some things. So with that, I will see you guys later, and I will hopefully make a video for tomorrow for you guys. All right, bye.